Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. Today I have the most amazing guest on the planet. As you know by now, I live in the Rocky Mountains of Aspen, Colorado. But my guest today is doing something 20 minutes away from me that is amazing. He's actually growing bananas, believe it or not, in a greenhouse. And yes, you can grow bananas in Colorado. I did not know that until I had a conversation with this person. And actually, my dad mentioned this to me about a year and a half ago. So I'm going to let Mr. Jerome take it away and explain more to the effect about what he's doing around eco-science.
Well, thank you for having me on. And here at Central Rocky Mountain Permaculture, which is tucked away on partway up Basalt Mountain, just above 2 miles above Basalt, Colorado, on an old mining road but now it's been somewhat improved. We have a demonstration site, Central Rocky Mountain Permaculture.org, and we have a 20-year-old forest garden, an edible landscaping food forest, and we have 5,000 square foot of greenhouses. One is a tropical greenhouse. It's about 2,000 square feet, and we do there's probably 75 different tropical fruits in there, anywhere from oranges to pomegranates to kumquats and ginger, bananas, passion fruit. The list goes on and on. We've just added 10 more new tropical fruits that will be fruiting in a couple of years. And we're just about ready to go for our first big cold spell. So we've got the sauna going, which is one of our backups. The greenhouse is heated with passive and active solar, a climate battery technology that we developed here and been building greenhouses for the last 20 years. Using this simple technology, I call it Polish geothermal because I helped develop it. I didn't invent it, but it takes the warm air from the greenhouse and it pipes it down into the soil with air ducts and fans down to 5 feet in my greenhouse. So we're storing the warm air from the ambient air of the greenhouse during the day and storing it in the soil, and we can bring it back up at night to warm the greenhouse. And that's only one of the elements that heat the greenhouse. We have thermal mass. We have all kinds of water tanks. We also have a pellet stove as a backup. We have aquaculture tanks and lots of rock and flagstone and gabion walls, which all add to keeping the greenhouse at 45 to 50 at the coldest. And that is only to keep the bananas, keep them fruiting. We have 3 different kinds of bananas, and we've had many big racks. All of this is featured in our book. It's been out for a couple of years, Forest Garden Greenhouse by Chelsea Green. And you can get that on Amazon, or you can get it on Chelsea Green, or you can order it from us. So right now, pretty much everything is dormant. In the other greenhouses, we use them for nursery storage. We bring our edible landscaping nursery, which is run by Vanessa Harmony, and that's one of our livelihoods. So I'll get into that a little more detail once I talk to you a little more about. We have animals as well, rabbits and chickens and ducks, and they are integrated into the whole greenhouse and forest garden. And we have worm farms in our pathways, so we actually actively growing worm castings in the pathways. So we lay down some pallets after we sheet mulch the pathways and put some plywood on there, so we have a nice walkway. Then we can open that up after about 3 months and clean it out, and it's all finished worm castings, and we just replace that And we can use that in our compost tea machine, or we can sell it, or we can use it on our nursery, or put it on our beds, or put it around any plant that needs a special nutrient boost. So that's another hallmark of the Phoenix greenhouse is not just a production greenhouse; it's an arc. So it has lots of different functions. We have a place in there called Pebble Beach. We have kind of a meeting area. We have a sauna where you can actually take a sauna and do Bikram's yoga. It's kind of like a spa. We have a sleeping platform. We have an aquaculture tank. We have a propagation area. We have lots of areas that we store for nursery. We have a tropical nursery. So we design other greenhouses like this, and then we plant out, grow the plants out and sell them, and sometimes do installation on them. We've just finished the greenhouse up in Canada. It's 100 foot and it has a swimming pool in it, and we designed all the tropical plants in that. We're doing one in Santa Fe now, and one in Shaw Island, and one in Whitefish. So we have lots of projects that we're doing. Our greenhouses are prototypes that have stood the test of time, and we make them a lot better when we build them for clients. We always do a climate analysis, and then we figure out what we really need to build, and we build the best possible, least energy consumptive greenhouse that we can, given the climate and building materials and the budget. So
now I have a question, if you don't mind me jumping in here. How in the world did you get into all this? How? Because this is just fascinating to me, by the way, Jerome. And when I'm a science nerd when it comes down to it, I love the stars. I love the being green in this case. I wish I could do it more myself, but I love the fact that you're being green and I have all these greenhouses. But how did you get all into this?
Well, just little by little. Mainly, I was had a health crisis when I was about 30, 35 or something like that. I had hyperglycemia, and I had to clean up my diet and find a different way to access my food. And so I started growing food to cleanse myself and to heal myself, and eventually that turned into a business. So I was selling salad greens in the 80s and herbs to the Aspen market for about 10 years. I leased some land in Basalt and had a 2-acre truck farm, and then I worked up at Woody Creek at the school, and then I came here and implemented my permaculture site here after I learned how permaculture would allow me to grow on this arid hillside using peat mulch and compost and integrated systems approach that permaculture allows us to do, agroforestry, perennial agriculture. Eventually I switched from annual agriculture after about 15 years to perennial agriculture. That's an agroforestry strategy that used all over the world using perennial trees and shrubs, and you can grow vegetables and medicinal plants underneath. And we do that indoors and outdoors, so it's a different kind of gardening. And it's more resilient, it's easier, takes less resources, takes less effort, and you get, like outside, we have 200 varieties of fruit that grow and winter over. We have about 10 and 20 of everything, 20 kinds of grapes, 20 kinds of apricots, 20 kinds of apples, all on 1 acre. And so I started slowly back in the 80s with very little money, just like a lot of young farmers are doing right now in the valley, just plugging away. And I eventually built my greenhouses mostly out of salvage and my house out of salvage material, and had a lot of help, a lot of volunteers, A lot of good people have come through here, taking the classes. We're up to our 31st year doing the permaculture design course this year. So we've been doing that educational program, an 8-day program, a 12-day program, and several 1-2-day workshops for 30 years now. So we have students from all over the world who have learned here, and now we do consulting for people who want greenhouses. So it was a slow go, and we're still got plenty to do here, but I'm in the process. I'm 76 plus, and I'm going to be turning this over to my livelihood people. Vanessa is the first one who has the livelihood of the nursery, and I'm going to have 2 more livelihoods here. So the nonprofit will be taking over the physical property here, and these people will be running Crimpy just like it's running right now, and they'll be making a living, and they'll be teaching and doing. And we're also writing a book about that same process. It's called The Perennial Economy. And it'll include other things that's out there. We're looking at the economy we have now. It looks pretty good in Aspen, but, you know, that's where the trickle down actually works up in our valley. It doesn't work so well in other parts of the world. And the economy isn't all that great, even though it's on the upswing right now. And we don't have any checks and balances for the next collapse. We haven't done anything to protect ourselves. If anything, we've done, made negative strides towards protecting ourselves for another collapse. So permaculture looks at a long haul and looks at systems that aren't relying on money totally. And we're growing our own food, providing our own energy, our own water. We have our own power plant on the roof. We have a 6.3 kilowatt power plant. We have no mortgage, no heating bill. We grow a lot of our own food. We have several businesses here that generate income. So it's kind of like taking a farm and turning it into a little nugget of economy, an active economy with many parts of it, many yields. So that's kind of where that's our main goal, heading down for the next 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Well, that's just fascinating to me. And the reason why I am silent during Jerome speaking, you guys, is because I'm just fascinated by this. And for those of you that don't know, I am more eco-friendly. I wish I was more eco-friendly than I actually am. And maybe in the next couple of years I will be. But right now, it's not looking so hot. So I have a question, Jerome, for you. How did you get away with no heating bill? I mean, as we're doing this interview on December 21st, it is snowing. As we're doing this interview, it's snowing. So basically, Jerome and I are inside doing this interview, but you have no heating bill at the house. How did you get away with that?
Well, we generate our own electricity for starts.
Yeah.
The photovoltaic system we have on our roof provides more than the electricity we use for the entire place. We cut wood, about 5 cords a year, and we get that for free. So basically, I'm not considering that, but I do have to spend my time to haul it up here, and sometimes people bring it up here. I have to saw it. I have to, I chainsaws, but we have passive solar house, so the sun heats most of it, and we have a small wood-burning stove that takes the chill off the night. We also have a huge thermal wall in the house. Like in the greenhouse, we have lots of passive. Back in the 70s, there was an incentive to build a lot of passive solar homes. And we have a huge greenhouse attached to our regular house, and that heats the house about 5 months of the year. So on a really sunny day, I just open up sliding glass door, goes out onto a landing, a little patio, and down the stairs is a 30 by 24, 35 by 24 fig greenhouse. It has huge fig tree in it, and pomegranates, and rosemary, and Pakistani and mulberry. So it's a Mediterranean climate in this greenhouse, but it's attached to the house, and then there are common windows. I'm looking out at the fig tree right now, and it's starting to lose all of its leaves, which is good because then more sun will come in. But during the summer, it's full of leaves. You can hardly see anything but the fig tree, and that shades the house. So none of the sun comes into the house during the summer because of a little overhang and then some shade cloth and the fig tree intercepts. But in the wintertime, all of that thermal mass and all that thermal gain comes right into the house. And with a ceiling fan, we can keep the stone wall, which is 24 by 11 and 12 inches thick. That's a lot of thermal mass. So that soaks up the heat from the stove and the sun, and then we don't need much of a fire. It's like the Anasazi Caves down in Mesa Verde.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
And if I can jump in here, you guys, if you ever have the chance to go to Mesa Verde, Mesa Verde is beautiful, but one, it's not handicapped accessible. I did the Mesa Verde jaunt when I was walking in the Penley, but the Mesa Verde is absolutely beautiful. And you guys, if you want to see what Jerome is talking about when he says it's similar to Mesa Verde, his home is similar to Mesa Verde. Now that you say that, I believe it because of the beautiful walls down there. I believe that that's a great analogy, Jerome, that you came up with. So my question is, how do all these unnatural species to Colorado do with the snow? I mean, how does a fig tree do with the snow?
Well, the fig tree is inside the greenhouse, but it's also dormant during the wintertime. So It doesn't have to have It doesn't have much heat, and it goes dormant, loses its leaves, and stays there just fine without any freezing. And then in the spring, after it's pruned, leaves come back on, the figs come back on. It's almost 25 years old. So it's huge. It's like branches, and the trunk is like 10 inches around, 10 inches in diameter. And we have about 5 months of fig season, and I'm drinking a fig smoothie right now because we freeze a lot of the figs. We have 2 freezers full of pears and apples and plums and mulberries and cherries, and we use those for smoothies all winter long.
You're making me hungry, Jim.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry by talking about those yummy fruit. Oh, jeez. You're making me hungry by talking about all these yummy fruits. As I said at the top of the phone call, I'm fascinated that you guys grow bananas, but I didn't know that you guys grow more than bananas. You guys grow everything underneath the sun, and no pun intended. But do you guys grow orchids, or are orchids way too exotic for you to grow?
Orchids?
Yeah.
What was the last question?
Or
I didn't hear
are
that.
they just way too picky for you guys to grow? Do you grow orchids?
Orchids. Is that a flower you
Yes.
mean?
Orchids
Yes, we
as
do.
in the flower, yes.
Oh, yes, we have several orchids on our aquaculture tank, and I even have the vanilla orchid.
Oh, Jesus. You
I have
have
one vine of
the most exotic orchid growing in Colorado. Now, granted, you guys, this is in Colorado. This is 45 minutes away from me. And no, people under special permission are allowed up to see Jerome, and I know that he does architectural classes up there, but I have never been up there. I want to go up there, but believe it or not, I'm just fascinated again by the banana fact.
Well, for our listeners, they also can go on our YouTube channel and see lots of videos of the different greenhouses and the different classes and the worm farm. Our YouTube channel. You could just go on crmpi.org, and we have some things we do with Eagle County Grassroots called Grow Up, and there's one with the county commissioner called Upfront with Jill Wyme. So you can take a visual tour of all these greenhouses, and then if you still want more, you can come up, take a tour that we give here, and buy the book, or you can take a workshop during the week, early spring, or you can take our academy, which is a 8-day intensive greenhouse and forest garden, and then the design course is in August, which is a 2-week design class run by a team of teachers. So there's lots of opportunities to learn this. There are permaculture classes taught all over the world now, and we are probably the longest running site that's done the permaculture design course consecutively for 30. We didn't do it last year, though. It'll be our 31st year coming up to 18.
Well, congratulations on that. Now, I have a question about the worms and composting. Are they silkworms that you're using, or normal worms that I find in my lodge? I find in my lodge on a good
well, neither one.
Afternoon. Neither one.
No, we have 3 different kinds of worms outside. We have the red worms, then we have the soil worms that work the medium soils, and then we have the night crawlers that are opportunists. In the greenhouse, we pretty much work with red worms. I'm going to add some other varieties in there to work the subsoils, but to make compost worm castings, you use a hybrid red worm, and they eat organic material very fast and turn it into worm casting. So that's what we do. We could use silkworms for feeding the chickens. We have lots of mulberry trees here in the summer, so we could actually grow silkworms to feed the chickens, but we don't do that. We could do that, but we just don't do that. So we do. We're going to be using at least 2 different kinds of worms in our greenhouse. Now we only use one. And we sell worms as well.
So, okay. So you only use one type of worm, but soon to be 2.
We use the hybrid red worm right now in the greenhouse to do our worm farms.
Yeah. And so, what has been your biggest accomplishment and most exciting feat in all this, Jerome?
Well, I don't know. Rebuilding the greenhouse after the fire was a big.
Oh my God! You guys had a fire. You guys had a fire.
Yeah. In 2007.
You had a fire in what year? That
2007.
you went 2007. Was it set up by a person intentionally, or was it just because the force
got started? We don't know exactly how the fire got started, but it was part of maybe the sauna. The greenhouse is a really old wooden greenhouse that I've been growing for 25 years, and so it burned down. It was actually a blessing in disguise because we were able to clean it up and put a new greenhouse right on the same footprint with better material, better technology, and it was still salvaged most. We salvaged all the steel, and we had to buy new insulation and new glazing. But now this is the prototype for a lot of greenhouses that we build for clients. So it was really great that I was able to pull it off, and with a lot of help and some money from insurance and donations and a core. An organization here in Carbondale gave us money to finish the greenhouse, and they're also funding another project we're doing now on a cabin retrofit. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges, and everything else is just you just get up in the morning and you do it, and it seems to work out pretty well. We have a lot of good people helping us out, so I guess that's...
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And no pun intended, but it takes a village to do what you do, and I applaud the work that you're doing in this valley, and I wish you guys the best, and now you have a big supporter in me. You guys, I applaud the growing of the bananas, the growing of the fig trees, the growing of everything under the sun, no pun intended, and I just think eco-science is fascinating, as I said at the top of this phone call, between the between the worms, I should say silkworms, between the worms and the trees and the chickens and the ducks and everything else you got going on, it sounds like you are making a green footprint.
Yeah, well, we have the ark here, I think. I like to think of it as the ark.
Yeah.
It's a safe house. It's when it all falls down, if the economy does collapse or slows down like it did in 2008, we can get along here pretty well, and we have lots of food stored, and we have opportunities to grow a lot, and we also network with a lot of our young farmers and other growers here, and there's a young group of farmers in the valley now, and Skip Doherty just opened a store down in Basalt, right on Main Street, to sell all his produce and stuff. And we sell our books and our tinctures there. So there's a growing movement of local foods in the valley. And I've been doing it for 30 years, but in the last couple of years, we've made some inroads, and there's definitely a lot of stuff going over in Paonia and Hotchkiss.
Yeah.
Lots of young
farmers. I was going to say that. I mean, they grow. You guys don't grow peaches, do you?
Oh yes. Peaches and apricots.
Oh yeah. Peaches. The moment I say Jerome doesn't grow anything, he surprises women. Says, "Oh yeah, I grow peaches and avocado. Yeah, I have a peach trees and avocado trees, and yeah." So, well, I applaud the work you're doing, and I think more people should listen to you and listen to this podcast and just be more sustainable. I mean, the reason why I brought you on this podcast is because not only am I fascinated by the bananas and the peaches here, but I want the sustainability factor. I want people to know that you can grow exotic fruits in Colorado. We just don't hit rocks all the time, but you can with TLC, 1011 care. And so I applaud the work you guys are doing. I applaud the work you guys are doing. So where can people find you and where can people get a hold of you? I know you said YouTube. I know, and I'll put all this information in the show notes, you guys, so you guys can check it out. But where can people find you? Give us your website, Jerome, again.
Okay, that's our website is crmpi.org, and our email is jerome@crmpi.org. And if you want to, you can get any more information. If you want to buy our book, you can email us, and we'll send you a signed copy of the Forest Garden Greenhouse, or you can get it on Amazon. And you can see all our schedules for workshops and on our website. And so we're looking forward to getting through the winter, getting through this next big storm. Yeah,
okay.
It's really blowing
yes,
apart.
we all, which is happening right now, you guys. Which is happening right now. I'm thinking the greenhouse at Jerome is not very happy with the snow, because I know orchids need 10-11 cares, much as all the other plants, but I'm sure Jerome has coverings out the yin-yang that he covers everything up with, or maybe not, I don't know, because apparently to him, the big trees go dormant, but I'm sure you cover those that don't go dormant, don't you?
I didn't hear that last thing.
Do you cover the things that need to be covered?
Well, no, we don't cover anything per se, because everything that we grow outside is hardy to 20 below. Everything we grow inside it's in the greenhouse. So, the fig tree is Mediterranean, so it doesn't fruit in the wintertime. So it doesn't, it's like, all the trees that are growing outside right now. If they had leaves on, they would die, but they go dormant, except for the evergreens. But all, aspens and the cottonwoods and scrub oak, they all go dormant. So they're not susceptible. The young buds don't seem to be bothered by 20 below zero. That's true for everything that grows outside, our peaches, our apricots, and we don't worry about any of that. We just plant the hardier things. Even I'm in zone 6 right here in Colorado. I'm on Basalt Mountain. Now, Aspen's zone 5, and we have some zone 4s in the valley. But I'm in zone 6 because of my microclimate here. Basalt Mountain is a huge south-facing rock pile, and when the sun hits that all day, it's again like the Anasazi Cave. The sun hits those stones up there on Basalt Mountain. You can't see the south face of Basalt Mountain unless you get up on the south face. You can't see it from the town. It's just a rock pile with a thin veneer of vegetation, and so in the evening, after the sun hits those rocks, warmer air comes down. Now, the reverse of that happens in Carbondale. Carbondale is sitting right below Mount Sopris, which is a north-facing mountain full of snow, huge glacier-like. So at night, the cold air comes down from those snowfields into the town of Basalt. So you're basically looking at 4 to 5 growing zone there, where we're a lot warmer here, even though we're higher. and we were 1,500 feet higher than. It's just the way things work out, and that's what the cliff dwelling people figured out when they stumbled onto the cave. They thought, wow, this is a pretty good place to hang out. Let's, we can grow up on the mesa, or we can come down in here in the wintertime, and the low angle of the sun is hitting these rocks and warming up this place, and it's protected. That's kind of what you look for when you want to grow food. You don't want to pick a cold spot if you can help it. You can get more bang for your buck. You can still grow in the cold spots. You just change your crops a little bit. You use a little more season protection, with covers and hoop houses. But we don't use that up here because we dance to a different drummer.
Okay, well, you bang to a different drum, as does the wind, but I'm not going bananas in my backyard. I guess I am 20 minutes away from me. I guess I'm growing bananas in my backyard. I never thought about it that way, not literally in my backyard, but I found out about you guys a year ago. As I said, my dad quickly mentioned bananas in Colorado, and that's what got me fascinated. And so as I said, I applaud the work you're doing. I definitely applaud the work you're doing. And please, you guys, go check out Jerome's YouTube. Go check out Jerome's website. And this podcast will be out today. And Jerome, do you have any final closing thoughts for this interview?
Well, I think you asked me about where do we get our inspiration for orange? We go into the natural forest systems. I go up on Basalt Mountain for walks, and there's not many people up there who go beyond the few houses that are here. You can go right up almost into wilderness.
Yeah.
And that's where we look at nature, and then we come back and we mimic that and make our food productions more productive, our food production systems more resilient and more productive than nature, but using the same model. And I think Frank Lloyd Wright said that I believe in God, but it's spelled nature. And so that's kind of my final shot there.
That's kind of your final thought. And if people want to donate to you, I presume they just donate to you through your website?
Yes, we have some, I think we have a page where people can donate. They can send donations to crmpi.org for our new building project or for our livelihood program that we're putting together. We need funding to expand some different kinds of workshops that we're going to be doing crafts workshops, wilderness workshops type stuff. So we're doing more educational stuff, and we could use money to develop that and to pay staff.
I know you could. I know it's hard to pay staff, especially when they're doing it out of love for the environment. But still, everyone needs a paycheck.
Yeah, everybody needs a paycheck, right?
Yeah, everyone needs a paycheck. The bananas can't pay them. You can't pay anyone in bananas, even though that would be nice, but everyone needs a paycheck. So you guys, if you're into eco-science and you're into sustainable energy and leaving a green footprint, please consider either buying Jerome's book off Amazon or donating straight to his project, because what he's doing is saving the planet in Basalt, Colorado, near Aspen, near me. And of course, it's now snowing, but he's still saving the planet with a big fat snowstorm in the midst. So I appreciate Jerome's time. I definitely appreciate his knowledge today, and I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thank you, Jerome, and thank you everyone for listening. Bye, you guys.
Okay, bye. Thank you very much.